Hey Dodgers fans, the reality hitting Los Angeles right now is brutal. After Game 5 of the World Series, the team stands just one loss away from being eliminated. And for a squad so accustomed to expectation, pressure, and postseason glory, this moment feels unusually heavy. For years, the Dodgers have been the team everyone assumes will take control, the Goliath in nearly every series, the club with the talent and depth to overcome obstacles that would crush most others. And yet, here in 2025, the story has taken a harsh turn. The Blue Jays have proven to be more than just a worthy opponent. They have exposed cracks in the Dodgers' armor that few imagined would ever exist in this era of Los Angeles baseball. While it would be tempting to blame a single bad outing, a single pitcher dominating on a single night, the truth is that the struggles have been consistent, recurring, and deeply frustrating for both players and fans alike. The offense, which has carried this team through so many regular seasons and been expected to rise to the occasion in the playoffs, has repeatedly failed to produce at the level demanded by this stage of the competition. Game 5 at home was perhaps the clearest example yet. The Dodgers faced Trey Yesavage, whose performance was near flawless, and they were unable to mount a response that could shift momentum. 7 innings of nearly unhittable pitching from a man who did not have the pedigree of a postseason veteran exposed the Dodgers' inability to adapt under pressure. It is not simply one unlucky matchup. This has been the theme throughout this postseason. Starting pitching has held up, but the offense has been inconsistent, erratic, and often entirely absent in crucial moments. Time and again, runners have been left stranded, opportunities squandered, and the scoreboard has reflected the struggle in brutal fashion. Over 3 home games, the Dodgers managed just 9 runs, failing to maintain leads when they did briefly gain them. Even in Game 3, which resulted in a rare victory, they left 18 runners on base. Game 4 saw 7 left stranded, and Game 5 for more. The pattern is unmistakable and concerning. When a team as talented as the Dodgers cannot generate offense consistently, the margin for error disappears entirely. The pressure in a series like this is immense, and for Los Angeles, it has always been expected that the team would rise to the occasion. Yet, as the series stands 3-2 in favor of Toronto, it is evident that expectation and talent do not always translate into execution. The Dodgers have been tested in ways they were unaccustomed to, facing a Blue Jays lineup that has shown patience, discipline, and opportunistic hitting. Even the greatest teams encounter challenges like this, but for fans, seeing the usually dominant Dodgers being outplayed at home adds a sharp edge to every pitch, every at-bat, every inning. The familiar narrative of Los Angeles asserting control has been replaced by tension, uncertainty, and moments where the team's vulnerabilities are laid bare. While Toronto may not appear as an overwhelmingly superior team on paper, they have executed at a level that has kept Los Angeles on its heels, forcing mistakes, capitalizing on missed opportunities, and demonstrating that the Dodgers' offense, usually a source of reliability, is struggling to meet its potential. When examining the games so far, the inability to produce runs consistently has been the central theme. For a team accustomed to leading early, maintaining pressure, and converting scoring opportunities, the difference between this year and previous campaigns is stark. Blake Snell, starting for the Blue Jays in Game 5, handed Los Angeles an immediate deficit with 2 consecutive home runs, a sign that the Dodgers lineup was vulnerable from the very start. Even when the Dodgers scored first in Game 3 and Game 4, the leads were fleeting, evaporating as the Blue Jays adjusted, capitalized, and applied pressure. In Game 5, the situation was even more pronounced, with the Dodgers never leading, trailing from the first pitch to the final out, unable to generate the offense needed to mount a challenge. The frustration has mounted not just in the numbers, but in the feeling of missed opportunities, the repeated inability to convert on chances that in other seasons would have translated into runs and momentum. The story of this postseason cannot be told without examining individual performances and the strain of expectation on the team's stars. Mookie Betts, who has been a cornerstone of this Dodgers era, has struggled mightily at the plate, and his difficulties have become emblematic of the broader offensive woes. Throughout Game 4 and Game 5, Betts faced challenges in critical moments, unable to capitalize on runners in scoring position, striking out multiple times, and adding to the sense that the team's top performers were pressing under the weight of the situation. This is not a matter of lack of talent. The Dodgers are filled with elite players capable of changing the game in a single swing. But in the World Series, the stakes magnify every misstep, and the combination of pressure, strategic pitching from Toronto, and the small margins for error have created a scenario where even elite performers have found themselves on the wrong side of execution. The comparison to previous seasons highlights just how unusual this situation is for the Dodgers. Looking back, it is difficult to find a recent series where Los Angeles appeared genuinely outmatched. In 2018, against the Boston Red Sox, there was a sense that the team was overwhelmed, but that was an era when the roster lacked some of the depth and experience seen today. Now, in 2025, the team's struggles are less about talent disparity and more about execution under pressure, timing, and the unpredictable nature of postseason baseball. Toronto has not simply outperformed on paper. They have executed on the field, exploiting Dodgers' weaknesses in real time and demonstrating that a team's reputation and roster do not guarantee results in the World Series. Every pitcher, every at-bat, and every decision has mattered, and the Dodgers have been forced to confront a reality they rarely face: that a team of their caliber can be challenged, contained, and even outplayed when the stakes are highest. What has been most concerning for Los Angeles is the pattern of inconsistency. Over multiple games, the offense has been unable to maintain the rhythm necessary to support the starting pitching. In the postseason, pitching and hitting must work in tandem. A team cannot rely solely on dominant pitchers to carry the load. Yet in this series, the Dodgers have repeatedly failed to provide the runs necessary to make the pitching count. Even with starting pitchers performing at a high level, the lack of offensive support has magnified mistakes, allowed Toronto to dictate the pace of games, and put the Dodgers in positions where they are forced to play from behind. The mental strain of trailing in crucial moments, combined with the inability to produce offense, has created a cycle of pressure and frustration that only intensifies with each passing inning. And yet, hope remains. The Dodgers are still alive in this series, still capable of winning both remaining games in Toronto to claim a second consecutive title. Unlike in 2018, where talent gaps played a role in their elimination, this year's team is fully capable of matching the Blue Jays pitch for pitch. The solution does not require a miraculous offensive explosion. It requires doing just enough to challenge the opposing pitchers, to apply pressure, and to take advantage of every scoring opportunity. Small adjustments, timely hits, and a return to fundamental execution could swing momentum, allowing Los Angeles to reclaim control of the series. The challenge is enormous, but the talent is present, and the Dodgers have been in similar situations before, overcoming adversity through focus, experience, and a refusal to yield under pressure. The next games will demand resilience, adaptability, and a willingness to confront the pressure head-on, transforming tension into opportunity. As the Dodgers prepare to head back to Toronto for Games 6 and potentially 7, the questions surrounding their offense remain front and center. This team has been built to win in moments like these, yet the postseason has exposed just how fragile even elite lineups can be under sustained pressure. Every pitch, every swing, and every decision is magnified, and the Dodgers have felt the weight of each one. The series has shown that talent alone does not win championships. Execution, timing, and mental toughness play roles that are just as critical, if not more so, when a margin for error is vanishingly small. The Blue Jays, disciplined and opportunistic, have forced Los Angeles to confront these realities. From the opening pitch of Game 5, it was clear that the Dodgers would have to work harder than ever to take control. Falling behind immediately and failing to respond created a sense of urgency and tension that has been present throughout the series, and every missed opportunity now carries a heavier cost than it would have earlier in the postseason. The offensive struggles have not been isolated to one player or one game, which makes them particularly troubling. Mookie Betts, normally a consistent force in the heart of the lineup, has faced difficulty translating his talent into production when it matters most. Striking out repeatedly, failing to drive in runs in critical moments, and struggling to get on base have compounded the sense of unease around the Dodgers lineup. While other players have contributed at times, the overall rhythm necessary to support the team's pitching staff has been absent. Postseason baseball is about taking advantage of every chance, and when even a single opportunity slips through the cracks, the consequences are immediate. The Dodgers have found themselves in a pattern of near misses, leaving runners stranded and failing to capitalize on scoring chances in a way that would allow them to control the tempo of the series. The Blue Jays have not just outperformed. They have taken advantage of these gaps, applying pressure consistently and forcing Los Angeles into uncomfortable situations where mistakes are magnified. One of the most striking elements of this series has been the way the Dodgers have handled leads, or the lack thereof. In situations where they briefly took the advantage, such as in Games 3 and 4, the lead never lasted long enough to establish a sense of control. Game 3 began with the Dodgers scoring first, but by the fourth inning, Toronto had turned the game around, taking the lead with decisive hitting and timely execution. Game 4 followed a similar pattern. A brief lead in the second inning evaporated in the third, and the Dodgers were left playing catch-up, struggling to regain momentum. In Game 5, the scenario was even more stark, with Los Angeles never leading at any point and falling further behind as the innings progressed. The psychological toll of repeatedly failing to hold leads and convert scoring opportunities cannot be overstated. Baseball is a game of adjustments and momentum, and the inability to sustain pressure on the opposing team has allowed Toronto to dictate the pace and keep Los Angeles on the defensive. Starting pitching has remained a bright spot, yet even that has been tested by the Dodgers' offensive shortcomings. Pitchers can only do so much. Without run support, even the best performances can fall short of victory. Trey Yesovich's dominant outing in Game 5 is a prime example of how one excellent performance can tip the balance when the opposing lineup is unable to respond. Over 7 innings of near-perfect pitching, Los Angeles struggled to generate meaningful offense, leaving the team looking for answers and placing additional stress on the rest of the roster. In a postseason where every pitch counts, the lack of offensive production has made the margin for error razor-thin. This has been a recurring theme throughout the series, and it raises concerns about whether the Dodgers can adjust quickly enough to change the narrative as the series moves back to Toronto. The series has also highlighted the mental component of postseason baseball. Pressure and expectation weigh heavily on elite teams, and Los Angeles has been no exception. The Dodgers have been forced to confront the reality that even a team as talented and accomplished as theirs can be challenged, contained, and at times outperformed when the circumstances align against them. Every at-bat, every defensive play, and every decision is amplified, and the margin for error is smaller than ever. The Blue Jays have shown poise and strategic execution, consistently applying pressure and taking advantage of even minor lapses. The Dodgers, by contrast, have struggled to maintain composure in critical moments, allowing frustration to creep in and opportunities to slip away. The mental game has become just as important as the physical, and in situations like this, the difference between winning and losing can come down to focus, adaptability, and the ability to perform under stress. But before we move forward, don't forget to join our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest news about the Los Angeles Dodgers. We'd love to hear your thoughts on the news, so drop a comment below. Whispers have been circling in the baseball world, and today they've erupted into what could be the most electrifying off-season shocker yet. ADLEY RUTSCHMAN, the young powerhouse catcher who has been turning heads since his debut, is reportedly heading to Los Angeles. Sources close to the Dodgers hint that the team is pulling out all the stops to secure a player many have long considered untouchable. While nothing has been officially confirmed, the buzz around Chavez Ravine is impossible to ignore. RUTSCHMAN could soon be standing as the impenetrable wall behind the plate the Dodgers have been craving. The Dodgers, already known for their aggressive approach to building championship-caliber rosters, seem poised to add another star to an already glittering lineup. Rumors suggest that management sees RUTSCHMAN not just as a defensive anchor, but as a game-changing presence who could redefine how the team approaches pitching and run prevention. Analysts have been speculating for months about the need for a catcher who can command the diamond with intelligence and poise, and RUTSCHMAN fits the bill perfectly. Fans have taken to social media in a frenzy, debating how this acquisition could shift the balance of power in the National League. Could RUTSCHMAN's bat finally fill the long-standing gap in the Dodgers' offensive depth? Will his leadership behind the plate elevate young pitchers into ace-level performance? The speculation alone has energized a fan base already hungry for postseason glory. Even rival teams are rumored to be keeping a close eye on negotiations, worried that the Dodgers might have just landed a cornerstone talent capable of dominating for years to come. Inside sources hint at late-night meetings and intense negotiations, a behind-the-scenes drama that reads more like a blockbuster script than a typical off-season move. While the details remain murky, the message is clear. Los Angeles is not playing small ball. They are hunting stars, and RUTSCHMAN might just be the crown jewel of a daring roster shakeup. If the deal goes through, the Dodgers won't just have a catcher. They'll have a veritable wall, a strategic mastermind who could alter the trajectory of their season before a single pitch is thrown. As whispers turn to chatter and chatter to headlines, one thing is certain. The Dodgers clubhouse is about to become a very interesting place, and the baseball world is watching with bated breath. Could this be the blockbuster signing that defines a decade for Los Angeles? Only time will tell, but the rumor alone has already set the rumor mill spinning at full speed. That's all for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay up to date with exclusive news about the Los Angeles Dodgers, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We always appreciate your comments and feedback. See you in the next video.